I just want to take a quick minute to talk about some of the preliminary sketches that led to the modeling process. Just wanted to do a real quick study of the proportion of the frame, the sizing with the wheels, where they fit in plan view. This is an exploration in 3 dimensions to get a feel for the elevation of the vehicle with the wheels, where they sit, where the body sits compared to the wheels. This is more of a stylized version of the frame. See how far I could take it. And this is that same version, but modeled up quickly in Fusion 360. And this is a different version, a variation of that same thing using the surfaces. This is a first stab at the cowling, trying to get a feel for the shape and the styling of it. And this is a stab at what the cowling framing may look like and where it might attach to the body. So with that primer, let's get started in the modeling process. All right, so here's the model of the frame. And I'm just going to walk you through the different components of the frame and talk briefly about how I achieve some of these organic shapes. Let's turn a few things off here so we can get started. Okay, so this blue piece here is the main frame. It's kind of the spine that holds everything together. In fact, that's what I call it, the spine. And it consists of a few different pieces. There's the center portion here, and the 2 rear components. And I have them labeled as male and female because for obvious reasons. This had to connect to this piece, and like I said previously, I don't like to use glue. I like things to snap fit, so I created a peg and cavity. Suppress that. So if turn those two things off. So this is the main piece. It holds the seat. And as you can see here, it looks very organic. And the way that I achieve that is through the Fusion's form dialog. So say for instance, create a box, pick a plane, and if I draw my box here, I can set initial parameters, and I can select symmetry along this axis, or this axis. I won't set any symmetry for now. Actually, yeah, I will. Let's set some symmetry. And how do I want the symmetry? I want it along that axis. Great. All right. So how we edit this is we edit form, grab the entire body, just put it roughly in the middle here, try to match up that center line. Let's go back into edit form. Move that around, and then now I can grab a face, grab these 2 faces, and if I hold Alt, I can now create 2 individual faces. I'll do the same thing back here, and I'll control click that, and then I'll Alt drag and do the same thing in the rear. And what's nice is I can just keep creating faces, which is awesome, and I don't have to leave the edit form utility, which is nice. Control click that, and then do a quick alt drag, and done. These faces, and then I can scale them, and you can see very quickly if I grab the series of edges there, I can get something, don't want to do that, close to what I created before. Okay. Now once this is created, if I hit finish form, now I have a solid body that I can now create cuts. For instance, there. Then I can use press pull or extrude, and now I have a solid body. So really quick there, you see how I can get this organic form incorporated into the model. But we don't need that. Let's turn on the other parts of our model. Talk about a few features here. So you'll see these slots that I've cut into the shape. These are to hold, get rid of that hole there. These are to hold the seat. And these slots back here are carved to hold some of the cowling. This hole here is specifically for the steering, which I can turn back on and show you. The steering rod goes straight through there to another mechanism down here that operates the steering. So I created this entire piece with a few different forms, and then I combined them, and then I cut them in a very specific way so that I could 3D print them, because this part here is much bigger than any 3D printing bed that I have. So I had to cut it up in a sort of intelligent way so that I could print it and then put it back together. So that would be these cuts here. How that piece intersects with this back, these two back pieces. And the same for the front. And also, again, like I mentioned earlier, how they intersect with each other. So the next thing I did was to create what I call the carriage. And the carriage was created in the same way. The carriage is set up to hold and support the suspension system. And it wraps in an organic way around the spine components. And if you look, there were cuts placed inside of the spine component that fit perfectly with the carriage. Peg and cavity. I don't know what happened there. I created all of these using the form tool in several pieces, and then combined them and cut them up in a logical way. Like, for instance, that piece had to make room for the spine that moved through there and rejoined itself on the other side. As is, there would be no way for me to assemble this without cutting this piece out so that I could slot the spine into here and then secure it with that part of the carriage. Also, I wanted to connect the two carriages together using this piece. It's kind of bridge joint. And it also serves another function of grounding the steering rod. So all of the pieces kind of hold each other together. And I did the same for the rear. And we can throw in the seat, actually throw in the, turn on the seat components. And the seat component consists of different plates. Again, the layer cake look that I was trying to go for. It slots right into the spine, and other parts of the seat slot into the carriage. Let's see if we can turn off the canvas here. This part that we're looking at here is the canvas for the steering. We'll just turn off the steering. And the last part of the frame, which we got a sneak peek at earlier, is the frame for the cowling itself. We'll see later how this serves to support the cowling plates themselves, but this is how it integrates into the main frame. This arm here slots right into the nose piece. This flank, which is what I call it, actually serves to connect both front and rear carriage. And then there's the rear cowling frame, which grabs the actual rear of the carriage. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the components of the frame and how they kind of go together, and a little bit about how I modeled some of the pieces. Really quick before I finish this up, the plating on the seat itself, talk about that real quick. So the plating came from what started off as a form. So using the forms, I started from the frame, extended out, and then I formed a 0 thickness plane, and then I did offsets from that plane and cut custom shapes into those offsets. And I just repeated that same process all the way around until I had something I liked. But the base started here, 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 and here, and here, of course, and I built out from there. So that's really all I have to say about the frame itself and its different components. Please like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you can always stay up to date on new content on the channel. And if you'd like to donate to the cause, please head on over to our Patreon page. It would really help the channel out, and I'd appreciate it. All right, that's it. The next part of this video series, we'll be looking at assembling the wheel components, the rims. I'll show you how the bearings work, and kind of talk about what I went through to figure out how to make the wheels work. As you can see, we finished all 4 tires. Man, it took a long time to print those. Printed them on my Ender 3. Took about collectively 500 hours to print all 4 tires. I used the NinjaFlex TPU. Once I figured out how to print with it, it printed great, flawlessly. So I look forward to that. And till next time, on Make It So 3D, I'm Brian McDonald. And as always, may your creativity lead you to great things. See ya. Say bye, buddy.